What is going on? Happy Thursday. Hit me up in chat if you can hear me. See if I'm coming through. Turn down that background music. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Barb? Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm going to take a look at the market here. Kind of do a market crawl, see what's going on. Can we filter out? No, it doesn't let you filter out. What's up, everyone? Let me know how the background music sounds. Let me know if it's too loud. Yeah, we are right up against $100 for Prismatic. Thank you. What's up, Jared? How are you? Happy Thursday. Almost Friday. Let me know if you got any questions. We're going to crawl the market, see what's up, see what's down. We need to look at Sword and Shield tonight, see if it's still flat. I want to put together a video this weekend on boxes to buy before it's too late. I mean, it's too late. Well, it's not too late. Depends what your definition of too late is. Too late can mean a lot of things. Depends on how much money you have. We want to look at Crown Zenith again tonight. I think Crown Zenith is going to continue to pump. Yeah, we just crossed 3 figures for Crown Zenith. Wow. Yeah, these are gonna disappear fast. And then Sea and Sky boxes are not gone. They're hard to get online now. A little bit of a price depreciation here, but these I just got a few of these in today. These are big boxes, but I think I'm trying to figure out what is the cheapest way to get Crown Zenith packs. So this we're at $82. I think it's 14 packs. So right under $6 a pack. And we get, this is 10. That's $10 back. So there's definitely a premium on the Elite Trainer box right now, which I guess makes sense. Let's see, everything's, yeah, I think $6 might be, so we went from Sea and Sky Collection bringing Crown Zenith packs to market under, I think it was under 4, under 3, something like that. And now, at least online, I think that's still as cheap as you can get them. I don't think any of these other collections have enough. It doesn't tell me how many packs are in there. I think it's 5. So that's still $10 a pack. Oof. Yeah. Those are expensive packs now. I think that's that might be the cheapest way to go. Wow. Yeah, so this is one where, like, to me, it's like I rarely tell people to get anything like to chase this price, but I would kick myself if I didn't have Crown Zenith. We'll put it that way. So yeah, if you have nothing, if you have no Crown Zenith exposure, I mean, if you have some, if you have ETBs, you know, stockpiled away, I wouldn't run out and get anything necessarily, but yeah, if you have nothing, you might want to think about picking something up. I hate to spend $100 on an ETB, but I mean, you still got some other cheap things here, but per pack price, Sea and Sky is still not a bad way to go, but there's no cheap packs anymore. We have seen booster bundles. We've seen them pop up here and there, but the market is so infiltrated right now with bots and Like the bots online have gotten so sophisticated, not just notifications, but actually I think there's bots checking out now for people. Like they've gotten that sophisticated where it'll make purchases for you. So what'll happen is it will come in stock. You'll be able to add it to your cart. But what's happening is there's bots checking out, and then they're gone by the time you just can't click fast enough. By the time you get the alert, the bots are already trying to get through the queue with their carts. So again, to my point is these keep popping up at retail, but they're going so quick. So this might be a not terrible way to get packs still. Yeah, Seeing Sky's still the way to go. So again, just while we're looking at Crown Zenith, pick some up if you can. Jared, you talked a lot about the influx of dumb money. Would you consider the recent surge in Shrouded Fable dumb money, or just a set become properly valued? That's a great question. I think Shrouded Fable was a little underappreciated. I mean, let's call it this way. I mean, the market price for a specialty set ETB is right $50, right? So at $40, it is technically undervalued. I think it should be about $50. I think that's a fair price for it. I wouldn't pay anything more than that. It's got a couple good cards in it. So what's happening now, though, is like a couple people, I talked about Shrouded, a couple of people start talking about it, and now the market shifts. The market it's herd mentality, remember? So, and I'm not a huge channel, but some of the other channels start talking about it. It starts to go, and then what happens is you start to see any appreciation, and it's this snowball effect where the market's like, whoa, there's a little bit of money moving into, Shrouded Fable went up $1 for an ETB. And so the market right now sees any confidence in a product, and people start diving into it. So I think at that 30, I picked a couple up at $38 this week, just two. And that's like an emotional buy, just so I can say, in case this thing goes crazy, I can say I have some, right? I don't think it will. It wouldn't. It shouldn't, right? I would never buy it above 50. So Jimbo, what's going on? Anthony, hello, welcome to the stream. I mistakenly, there's a couple other people, PokeTubers streaming tonight. It was Never a Phase, which is one of my favorite channels, so I'm gonna have to pick another night to stream maybe, because that's, I don't want to compete, and I want to watch their stream, so. But we will soldier on here and keep looking at some stuff, so. Yeah, great question, Jared. But it's such a hard market because we at the very fundamental level are emotional investors, most of us. And so again, you get like we start seeing battle styles. I talked about this week. You're seeing battle styles start to appreciate. Darkness Ablaze. There's a Reddit post today. This guy's like bought like 6 cases of battle styles. I'm like, hey, look, is this a good investment? It's like, in the short term, it'll seem like it because everything's going to go up. Battle styles is going to go up, and you can potentially make money that way. Long term, though, and this is something I'm going to talk about in a video. I got to put a video together. Making money versus making wealth. Those are two different things. Buying, and I've said this, I've used this example before, buying Fusion Strike booster boxes at $80 a pop and holding them to the point where they get to 500, that's generating wealth. If you were generating money, you'd buy them at 800, you'd probably sell them at 150 because you don't want to take the risk of the market going down. That's the big difference, is you being able to say, I don't care if the market goes up, left, sideways, I'm going to hold on to this box for 5 years until it appreciates massively and then sell it. That's generating wealth. So all the scalpers and everything right now with Prismatic, those are all people trying to make a buck. And hey, you do you. I mean, there's many different ways in this world. There are plenty of big corporations that screw over people all the time in the endeavor of making money, right? So if someone wants to buy a Pokemon product at Walmart and sell it online, far be it for me to criticize. So Jimbo, I haven't bought anything in a while. Maybe I'm just being stubborn. No, I think if you're doing this right, this is not a buyer's market. This is a seller's market. So I've been deploying way less capital than I typically do, because to me, just nothing seems appropriately priced for me to enter in. It's not that I'm not buying anything. I am. I have a video tomorrow coming out about what I've bought in January. It's just much harder to get deals. So, and that's not the only reason to buy something, whether you have a deal or not. But I just have, everything seems just too expensive. Like Crown Zenith right now, it does not seem too expensive. This is definitely going to go higher. It's a phenomenal set. I think most everything else, like everything in Scarlet and Violet except for base, seems appropriately priced for me. I haven't looked at everything this week here, but everything seemed reasonable to me. There's nothing except base. I don't think base is all that good. So I think it's kind of riding in the coattails of everything else that's going on. So this is like $143. I'd much rather have Paradox. Stellar Crown's too high now. Well, not too high, but it's higher than this. Yeah, I'd rather have Paradox Rift at a few dollars more all day, every single day. So this is where I would put my money. So again, there's some dumb money flowing around to everything. That's why you have to be careful with singles, because there's a lot of people speculating on singles right now because of these kind of charts that we're seeing, and it's across the board. It's almost everything. Almost any card in Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield that's above $10 has skyrocketed. And again, you may be able to make money, but long term, especially with booster boxes, eventually the market's going to start correctly voting on this stuff, and not everything's going to be priced high anymore. We'll put it that way. Anthony, will prismatic PC ETB cases be one of the rarest ETB yes, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Just because there's just not many of them, right? Because they were all split up because of the limit. So yeah, I mean the prismatic there's no question that the Pokemon Center and prismatic ETB is going to be it will be the most expensive ETB at some point. Pokemon Center ETB, I should say. It's got a beautiful promo. I wish they did something different with the box art, but it's there's not many of those even on. Is this the Pokemon Center one? I thought I pulled it up, but I didn't. Let's go take a look at it. I can tell you it's holding up better than the regular ETB. Yeah, so solid at 256. Not selling crazily. I thought they would have sold more than this. I still think people think they're going to reprint them. We don't know. They have reprinted. This is the Pokemon Center one. They didn't update the picture. They have reprinted Pokemon Center ETBs, or they've moved product around. I don't know, but there is a chance. But I have 3 of these. I'm holding on to them. I should have gotten 4. Why didn't I get 4? I don't know why I didn't get 4. I was in on these when you could still get 4. And I didn't do it. I don't know why I picked number 3. That was stupid, but looks like prismatic ETBs may crack the 100 mark soon. Would you start buying in the 90s as a long-term hold? I wouldn't. I'm not. I'm sorry. I should say I'm not. The reason I have enough. I'm good. I sold a few just to get a little capital in the pocket, so to have for future sets. I'm still not a buyer unless it goes cheap. Like my video today, I'm just thinking about, I'm like, because I did the Crown Zenith video. I'm like, this is leaving a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, just no one, and I've seen none of my friends who open Pokemon, like all my dad friends, none of them were able to get any to open with their kids. I'm like, I'm not buying a $100 ETB to open with the kids. You crazy? So it's not getting in people's hands. The people that are going to be the buyers in the future. Anyone who's scalping and moving this product now, these are all transient people. None of these people are going to be in the hobby. None of them care about the hobby enough. Because if you care about the hobby enough, you crack. You open because you enjoy the cards. That's what keeps you around long term. Not the money, because when the market goes bust, the crackers are still here. The people that want to make money are gone. So I'm just worried that this is not, like, again, the comments in Crown Zenith were like, there was no one who would talk down about Crown Zenith. No one. It's a beautiful product. This is not that situation. So is this going to be in the hearts and minds of people long term? Again, I am a long-term investor. I want this to be wealth generating, right? Potentially hand down stuff to my kids someday. This isn't going to be nostalgic for people. People remember, think back to how badly this was launched, how the pull rates were terrible, and people were cracking, took 3 ETBs at $100 a pop to open to get an SRR that was worth $50. I don't think so. And there was a comment today in the video about Evolving Skies, how Evolving Skies is, bad pull rates, but it's different because Evolving Skies was cheap enough at the start where it was approachable for people. A product like Prismatic that's supposed to be $50, that's $100 to $150, that's being scalped, and I'm telling you, like on the Facebook groups, people are just laughing at scalpers posting pictures of trying to sell product, and now it's a race on Facebook down to below $100. It's a race because people want to get out. These aren't people that are going to hold the product long term. They want out. They're at the store. They're literally taking pictures of the stuff in their trunk trying to sell it ASAP. So this is, I did not think we were going to get down to $100 this quickly. I did not. I would not have guessed this in a million years. We saw in the video today just the sell volume's going down. Why is the purchasing volume going down when the price is going down? When we are we're a week removed, 2 weeks removed. Yeah, so tomorrow's gonna be 2 weeks from release day plus 14, and the product's getting cheaper. We're close enough to release day on a hype product that there should be more buyers in the market at $100. Maybe people are waiting. Maybe people are seeing it's getting close to 100. They're just going to wait. Maybe it's the reprint thing. We know reprints are coming, so everyone's like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I'm going to get reprints and we'll pick it up. I'll pick it up when it gets cheap. Or people are just like, you know what? I'm actually going to set this one out. We have no idea what it is. We can only speculate on that, but there's, I would not have guessed this. And we have quite a bit of population sitting here. So we got 2,700 boxes sitting on TCG Player. And one of the other things now is I think scalpers are hitting brick walls on trying to move stuff locally through Facebook Marketplace. And so they're going to the next best place they can, which is eBay and TCG Player. And so I think you're seeing a lot more products get listed here than it might normally get listed because people are trying to move. And now what's happening, that thing I talk about where when confidence in a product drops and there's not enough demand and there's too much supply, now we start to get fighting on pricing. And this is exactly what's happening. This is a price fight. And it's going to continue to happen unless we get demand in the market. So maybe when we crash below 100, which is going to happen, we're hitting that, we're going towards that. Maybe that brings some more buyers into the market. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but Iraj, you think Shrouded prices will jump because of rising prices of other product? Yeah, it's just people trying to find anything cheap. Anything cheap. So Shrouded's cheap, and it shouldn't be quite that cheap, but it should not be. It should not be a $60 or $70 ETB. Market might pump it though, because what's happening is it's that bucket spillover effect, right? Everything else is expensive, so the money starts flowing to stuff that people just shouldn't be flowing to, but it is because everyone assumes it's going to continue to go up. People that haven't been in the market before like this just yeah. So it's not a vote of confidence, we'll put it that way. It's just an assumption that things, the way they have been going, will continue to go that way. And I think one of the best beneficiaries of what's happening with Prismatic could be Surging Sparks. Still extremely solid price, $250 a box. Sold amazingly. We've seen almost as many Surging Sparks booster boxes sell as Prismatic ETBs. That's kind of crazy. This is holding on phenomenally well. I had a good experience opening Surging Sparks, even before I pulled a Pikachu. I mean, you pull a Pikachu that's, a Pikachu EX $500 card. Yeah, of course it makes you feel like it's good. But even before that, this was a great set to open. It's worth $250 a box. And again, I think, and the pull rates weren't, I think the pull rates were good. I think they were not easy, but they were good. Good for a mainline set with the booster box. I think the Prismatic, I think bad pull rates on an ETB product is probably something that Pokemon Company needs to consider. I think that's because you only have 10 packs. You only have 10 packs. And to hit any to take 40 packs to open any SIR, and you have that many SIRs, oof, it's just not a great experience. It's not. You get the Master Balls and the Pokeball holographs. That helps, but it's just not the same as pulling an SIR. It's just not. But Surging Sparks is holding on phenomenally well. This is a great product. Beautiful booster box. It's got Pikachu on it. We're going to take a look at the Pokemon Center ETB. That's a phenomenal Pokemon Center. These I think this is this is going to go higher. There's only 100 of these. It's got Pokemon. It's got Pikachu on the box. What was the promo for this one? Magneton, right? Good looking promo. So if Obsidian Flames Pokemon Center ETB can be 250 approaching 300, this can absolutely be 200. These are already, most of these, life cycle wise, most of these have been sold. This is a definite hold. Again, it's, up in price. So if you don't have one, that's on you to, make a determination if you want to pay that kind of money for one ETB. But these are going to be solid long term. Very, very good. It's got Pikachu on the box. So, but great set. And last I checked, the singles were holding up pretty well. It's probably time to do another update. But that is extremely solid for a $500 card. Volume's starting to get a little loose here, but that's to be expected. We're getting farther down the road. But I mean, today we sold four $500 cards for a set that's been out since the fall. I think that's pretty good. I think that's really solid. And again, everyone talk crap about the Pikachu, but I think it's a great card. Grounder, Pokemon Go is now sold on PC. Think about any price impact incoming. Yeah, but yes. So same kind of situation with Pokemon Go that is with Shrouded Fable. I would rather buy Shrouded Fable. There's a hot take. I do not like Pokemon Go. I think the artwork is the rainbow foils. They're nice in person. I do like the foiling. But the fact that the like in a binder when they're side by side, there's just nothing special about them. There's nothing special about them. And the Mews, when we do this CGI, I can't. It doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. And it doesn't do it for a lot of people. I just look at what you got here for, I mean, this is your $40 card. You top out at a $40 card. And the rainbows are fine. I just wish they'd done full art, like full color Pokemon with the rainbow background. I would have been great with that. This is just, it's not for, I don't want to call it crap. I don't want to, I know some people like it, but this just isn't for me. And you get this. Yeah, it's just way too CGI for me. I'd rather have Shrouded Fable every day. So again, what's happening with Pokemon Go is the same thing what's happening with everything else. It's just it's old. I'll give it that. It's got some age on it, but it's just, it looks cheap, so people are buying it up. And again, there's going to be some people who make some money on this. They're gonna ride the market up, and then they'll sell boxes. I don't do that. I don't want to time the market. I've been burned. That's why. It's not that you can't make money doing that. That's not for me. I've been burned doing that. I just want to hold it, put it on a shelf, and forget about it. That's what not forget about it. You know what I mean? So Pokemon Go is it a good product? Is that the question? If I want to hold it for a long period of time, it has to be a good product. It has to be good. There has to be some thesis when you buy a product, right? There has to be a reason that you're buying it. If you're just buying it because it's cheap, that's not a reason to me. Okay, this is part of my ethos for investing. There has to be a reason. It has to be Crown Zenith is beloved, right? That there's going to be a nostalgic play there in the future. That's the reason to buy a set. Surging Sparks, beautiful cards, beautiful box art. It's got Pikachu. It's got everything going for it. There's a reason, right? Let's think. Again, and that just goes, it's true of every set, and you need to make that determination. Journey Together doesn't do it for me. There's a couple good cards, but it's going to be a mid-tier set, I think. That's my opinion. So I'm not going deep on it. I'm buying a couple booster boxes. I got the Pokemon Center ATBs, and I'm good. And I think what happens is people go into it without a plan. They're just like, ooh, Pokemon Go, it's cheap. Everything else is expensive, so I'm going to get this. But it's like, okay, again, you're going to maybe make a few bucks, but 5 years from now, what's the vote going to be? It's not going to matter how much you paid, what the market was at that time. It's going to matter whether it was beloved or not. Now, it's got the Pokemon Go name. I'll give it that, but that only goes so far. So, Chris, hope everyone is having a good night. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for throwing that in there. Yeah, if you don't mind, hit the like button. We're competing with a couple other PokeTubers tonight, so I gotta think about changing the time here. I don't want to compete with them. They're great, by the way. I love my I got quite a few subscriptions to some other PokeTubers. So the reprint came and went for Surging. I didn't notice. Did it? I keep hearing about it. Did it? Maybe they did another late reprint. It was kind of like Paldean and Obsidian, where it just kind of like, it was like a little puff of smoke and then it was gone. I didn't, if it happened, I didn't know about it. So what do you think of the new normal market price will be for new booster boxes when the market settles? Do you think MSRP is the new $100? That's a good question, Jimbo. We have no idea. Let me think about that for a sec. I don't know that there's ever really a normal for anything, for any price. I really don't. I think when boxes were sub $100 for Scarlet and Violet on TikTok, that was if you think about it, it was a fairly brief period of time in the grand scheme of things. And the market was, because it's kind of weird. Like Sword and Shield was pumping. Remember, Sword and Shield was pumping while Scarlet and Violet was depressed in price. So it wasn't necessarily a bear market. We were coming out of more of a bearish market. Remember, Pokemon led the charge for the market that we were in today in printed cardboard as a whole. Pokemon was absolutely the first one out of the gate in late 2022, early 2023 with any kind of appreciation in product. And that was really led by Sword and Shield. And so early 2023 was when Sword and Shield was really in an accumulation phase and pumping. And that certainly led the charge. So, and that's weird to see that bifurcation that happens between eras when you get an era shift like that, where all the money was flowing into one era. And Scarlet and Violet, again, it was almost across the board, except for like Paldea. Everything was cheap. It was cheap up until Temporal. Paldean Fates was cheap. Twilight Masquerade was really when it started to kick off a bit. I'm sorry, actually a little before that, 151 was doing something completely different. 151 led the charge of anything in Scarlet and Violet going nuts. But 151's kind of a beast in and of itself. Young, I don't know. A few months ago, the rumor was they would have one around this time frame. I can't imagine we wouldn't have one. The question is going to be, and this is the question on everything, on all reprints, what are they going to reprint? It's going to be booster boxes. I would hope so. We need it. We kind of need some. The market's going to gobble them up. I mean, the price, a $250 price this far after release on a booster box, I talked about this in a video. I'm like, there's going to be some cannibalization, that happens when Prismatic comes out. I think people being pissed off at Prismatic was the best thing to happen to Surging Sparks. And I can tell you now, if Journey Together does what I think it's going to do, which I think it's going to fall a little bit flat on the market here, that's going to be even better for Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks was a great opening experience. I think it'll be interesting. Journey Together's mid to me. There's a few cards I definitely want, but it's not like when I was looking at previews for Prismatic, I'm like, ooh, just card after card. And you're like, yeah, I gotta have that. It's not like that. It's not like it just seems okay to me. And I think it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt because it really doesn't have any solid 151 exposure, original 151. I think that's one of the biggest pieces of it. And the biggest question on the market, I don't think Journey Together is gonna rock the market if it falls flat. And market's still going to pop. It means money just keeps pouring into Sword and Shield and keeps going to Surging Sparks. If Team Rocket has to do well, Team Rocket, it will be a turning point in the market if it doesn't do well. They gotta knock it out of the park. There's high expectations already on that set, and the name will only carry it so far. They have to knock it out of the park with art. They need plenty of product at release. If I were them, I'd be sacrificing all, Paradox Rift, Temporal, Paldean Fates, Surging Spark, anything in these reprints. I'd be like, printers, we're printing Team Rocket. If they know it's good, that's what I would be doing, because the market's going to gobble it up. And if there's not enough product at release, or if the market doesn't take the cards well, if the previews aren't great, let's put it this way, if like the same mentality was like, if you took this Journey Together mentality, it was like, it's mid-tier. If that's how we're feeling about Team Rocket, that could be a turning point in the market downward. We just don't know. Pokemon Center, I have over 80,000 in sealed product. The way it fills up my house is insane. Over the last 2 weeks, I started loving singles more. 10 to 20K in singles does not take a lot of space, and that was an issue. So what are you accumulating product for? Are you investing? Are you flipping? Just love the product and you're collecting? I'm actually hoping, I gotta travel this weekend. I got to travel Sunday, but I'm hoping to rearrange my storage area because I'm overflowing. I got to rearrange some stuff here because one of the only buying opportunities lately has been collections, premium collections, like Sea and Sky. I've been picking up, and they just take up a ton of space, and it's going to get to the point where we're going to have to crack stuff and just go to packs. I hate to do it, but it's going to happen. So yeah, Pokemon Go. Now I have no exposure to Pokemon Go. I played the app. I'm not picking up these boxes. I just don't. I don't even like the box art. It just doesn't do it for me. But to each their own. All right, yeah. So Prismatic. What else were we looking at tonight? What else is Scarlet and Violet doing? I haven't looked at everything this week. I think it's been pretty stable. We're starting to see. Again, it's so interesting to see. I should take some screenshots of all the booster box charts here and overlay them on each other. And I bet you they would not line up perfectly, of course, but just these patterns that we see, the stair stepping, and we're seeing it now in Sword and Shield. Let's see. I think I pulled up Fusion Strike. Yeah. So you can kind of see a similar stair step, right? It comes up, we get accumulation. And then it rises up again, and then it flattens out for a bit. So that's kind of what's happening here. Same thing. Obviously, different price. So the money, I think what happens is it just gets to some kind of theoretical level. I don't know what drives this. And then the money flows somewhere else. That's what's happening now. At least the money's just trying to find whatever low spot there is to go to. Because people are essentially voting on the price at this point, saying, you know, that's about where Fusion Strike should be. It's about what I'm willing to pay. The volume starts to dry down. There's just no race to fight on price for this. Why should you, right? It's old. There's less than 100 boxes listed here. It's a beautiful product, beautiful set. There's no reason to fight for price. And the same thing's happening with everything else outside of Prismatic. There's no reason to fight for price. Paldean Fates, how are we doing on sealed? Still right up against $100. So this is another set. This needs a reprint. This is far too young to not have a reprint. And the question, of course, again, is are they going to reprint ETBs? Are they going to leave them alone? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful specialty set. Beautiful box. Pokemon Center version. It's going to do great. It's got the Mimikyu promo. We have Bubble Mew in here. Just a phenomenal, really good set. And I was saying it for a long time. Again, this was 6 months ago. These were below $50 easily. You pick them up for like $40 all day. And you got the baby shinies. You got Mew leading the charge. I think the most expensive Charizard in all of Scarlet and Violet. You just got a little bit. You got Iono in here. Just a little bit of everything. It's a beautiful set. But it's getting. I would rather have Crown Zenith at $100. If I'm gonna be honest, it's just older. I think the breadth of cards, like if we were to look at the distribution of value in cards from Paldean versus Crown Zenith, you're going to see a much even distribution of card values for Crown Zenith. There's just a little bit more there, whereas here you start to drop off pretty rapidly after the Gardevoir. So it's a great. Don't get me wrong, great product. But if I get $100 to spend, I'm going to buy Crown Zenith all day because it's just older. JT could be a mid-set, but still do well sealed due to short print from Prismatic and other SV reprints. It could. It's got the promo in it. I think the promo. Here's my conspiracy theory. I think the reason North America did the promo with the box is because they knew it was a mid-set and they needed something to boost it. Why else would they do it? Because remember, they're spending money. You get a separate pack that goes in the box, right? It's extra money. It's extra complexity from a manufacturing standpoint. Everything that you do, whenever you're multiplying manufacturing times tens of thousands, every minute little change costs a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. I think the reason they did that is they knew it was a mid-set. That's my why else. I just don't. A box topper. That's almost always a reason that they knew it's like a last minute change to booster set. That's what I think happened. Again, I don't think it's terrible. I would not be spending $200 a box. That is not worth it to me. Last I checked, we were still holding at $200 for Journey Together. I wouldn't pay that. I've had no problem. Every time I look, I'm able to see. I'm sure I shouldn't say it. Not every time. Most time I look, I can see MSRP booster boxes. Yeah, this is pre-sale. We still have 500 of these listed on TCG Player. This price is gonna keep coming down. TCG Vend had some last time I checked, but his prices keep going all over the place. Yeah, if you're looking for Journey Together at retail pricing, MSRP, we still got some from TCG Vend. I've talked about them before. They didn't sponsor a video. They gave a discount code previously for Journey Together, but then dropped the price after, of course. Prismatic Evolution Surprise Box, that's actually still available. That's that could be cheap for that. That could be I wonder if those stamp promos could be, those could pump. I've talked about that before. That's actually, it might be a decent price for that, because those boxes could go higher. But I think MSRP I think is okay for Journey Together. That's what I did. I only got 2 boxes at MSRP. I would not pay anything more than that. Let's see here. Grounder for singles. Who do you think all the grabbing PSA 9 versus raw moderns when the same price? In my honest opinion, if people are selling raw, they aren't going to be 10s anyway. Yeah, there's always a filter that happens when you're selling cards, right? Always a filter. You know, if you do this all day, you know which ones are 10s, right? You're not going to, if you're buying a sight unseen raw card, even if you have pictures of it, there's no way. You got to, I don't know how people buy expensive SIRs sight unseen just in the hopes that you're buying them raw and you're going to grade them and you're going to get 10s. That seems like a massive gamble to me. But there, I mean, you could do the math, right? I mean, you can look at the pop rate, on a card, and you can look at what your chance. But I mean, your best bet is to go to either stores or conventions and buy cards in person. And because I mean, if you do it long enough, you know which ones are going to have a chance at going 10 at least, right? But I'd never be spending that kind of money on the off chance I'm going to get a 10 on it without buying it in person. Just my opinion. I'm not a huge grade. I have graded cards. So that's a whole different subset of skill within the Pokemon community. I mean, I'm pretty smart when it comes to boxes and how that how the market forces move boxes. But when it comes to singles and slabbed and graded, I just it's not my thing. It's a whole full-time job. Just looking at boxes is a full-time job. So Journey Together TCG event. If you're looking for some, it's not sponsored or anything. Just they happen to have some at MSRP if you're looking. So, and I have purchased from them before. They've come in. I bought Surging Sparks from them. I bought Prismatic at retail prices and no cancellations. So I can vouch for them. Anthony, everyone seems to think Prismatic ETBs will keep dropping. My take is that once all the product is dried up and all the flippers are done, just like Surging, I think it'll run up in the week 8 to 9 as well. It could. My concern is that we're already seeing price depreciation, but we're not seeing any more sell volume. We should have seen people jump back in now at this price, because we went from almost 100, we went from 150 pre-release. We've cut a third out of the price, but the sell volume is slowing down. So typically in supply and demand on a hyped product like this, we see the demand is waning. Why is the demand waning? That's the question. Is it because we're just seeing here's a couple speculation. There could be more supply coming to TCG Player listed in this 2,700 current quantity listed. That could be a lot of arbitrage essentially coming from retail places like Walmart and Target online. So the supply is abnormally large in both eBay and TCG Player because of that arbitrage happening. So it could just be a supply problem. There's just too much supply. But we have seen the volume slow down. Look at this chart down here. So you see this volume is really steady. And so we saw volume start to taper off and price start to go down with it. And we're not seeing more buying happening. So, and it could just be the supply side. It could just be there's too much supply on TCG Player. So now you have all these individual sellers who are probably scalpers who are fighting for price because they do not want to be in this market longer than they have to be. They are not willing to hold the product because they're just doing this for money. They might not even care about Pokemon. They're just doing it for money and they want out and they will fight. They have no problem taking $5 off just to move the product. So they're not, because their end game, the worst result for them is getting stuck with this product. I want to be stuck with the product, right? I want it long term. Scalpers don't want that. So I think that's part of this, is the supply part. I think there's people waiting for the reprint. There's absolutely people waiting saying, even though the price is less now, I'm not paying $100 to open 10 packs for a product that just came out when I know there's a reprint coming. That absolutely could be a part of this. This could be a product that when we get that reprint, and it's probably going to be a big one, because the demand signal to the Pokemon Company was, oh crap, we have a problem on our hands, enough that we have to address it with a public statement. That reprint could be big enough that it drives. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe we will see these for $60 again. Who knows? I mean, it could be big enough. They have to hit the reprint button on this. They don't have a choice. It's not going to just be booster bundles. It's going to be ETBs. It's going to be everything. The amount of posts I've seen just in my state's Facebook group for trading Pokemon, for selling Pokemon, right? The amount of people that have binder collections and ETBs from retail is ginormous. And they're scrambling now. They're scrambling because the demand has tapered off. And and so maybe that discredits what I just said then. Maybe the demand is just, people have a negative connotation with it. Or they just don't want to pay they don't want to pay $100 for an ETB. Whether it's from a scalper or it's from online. They're just not willing to. They've just drawn that line in the sand and say, I'm not doing it. Because the scalpers the people on Facebook Marketplace are dropping their prices quickly. And they do this thing where they post these people, stupid people. They post a picture of 100 binders. 100 instead of just saying, I have binder collections available for this price. They post 100 of them. So now it's like everyone knows what your supply is. So I'm like, I'm not paying that price if you got 100 of them, right? It's wild to see the kind of people that this kind of market brings out. So, all right, back to chat. Some scalpers probably holding long-term for 5 years, then sales too. Those are not scalpers. Those are investors. That changes the definition of what you are. Silver and Hollows. I agree with your sentiment on Prismatic. I'm really enjoying your channel and balanced takes. Keep up the good work. Appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That was very kind of you. It's a great set and really impossible to master set. It's just not that great product to open and came in way too hot. Yeah, I think that's pretty much a high-level view of what's going on in Prismatic. I think maybe the reprint, maybe we get a resurgence with the reprint. Maybe it's big enough, and it could be. I never would have guessed we would have seen $60 or $50 ETBs again. It could be big enough that it does that. And that could mean a resurgence, like a second release of this product where people are like, oh, it's 60 now. And it's because it is a beautiful set. You can't say it's not a beautiful set. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. It's just the pull rates combined with the pricing make it tough to bear when you're opening it. It's not fun. But maybe we get that resurgence. Maybe there's just enough product that comes out. We get a really big depreciation in price and people can actually enjoy it. Maybe. And it could be maybe Journey Together being a mid set, maybe that allows Prismatic to stay in focus and actually have that resurgence and then have that second wave of people who are like, oh, okay, now I can walk into my Walmart today and buy this at $50 and actually crack it and fall in love with it. That's what we want. We want people to fall in love with the product. I saw Surging Sparks blister and whole stack at Walgreens today. Blisters have done really well. I've started picking up sleeve boosters when I see them. Like my local hardware store, for some reason, it's a mom and pop hardware store. They sell sleeve booster packs. And they sell them for $5. And so I'll just pick up a couple just to put them away because the sleeve, especially if you can get sleeved, those do really well long-term. Those store really easily. It's just a little way to kind of add a little bit to the collection for a little bit of money, you know? Yeah, Walgreens sells ETBs. I've never seen ETBs at a Walgreens. That's interesting. So retail where I live is atrocious. It's in a bull market like this, it's like there are people who I don't know how they must not have jobs or they're working a different shift. They're just driving around to Walmart and Targets all day just trying to get anything they can. Our retails right now with Pokemon is devastated. There's nothing. And again, 6 months ago was you wouldn't, the hotter sets you wouldn't be able to see that, but you'd get, like you said, like the blisters and sleeve packs and stuff like that you could still get. Now it's like it's nothing. Again, it's all dumb money. They're buying everything they can find there because there's arbitrage opportunity almost anywhere. So I think there's people doing it full time. General public doesn't have a chance at product unless there are limits. Just saw a Target employee taking a picture of the sold out Pokemon section. Yeah, in this kind of market, you got as retail, you got to limit it. You really got to limit it. It's just it's a crazy market, and it's to the point where it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have, but it's like this is not Prismatic is not what Pokemon Company wants. It's not what I want as an investor. It's not what I want as a person who just opens product to have fun. It's not fun. It feels bad to open $200 and almost $300 worth of product and then you get a $50 SIR, which should be a good time. It should be like, it is a beautiful card, but it's just like, well, I could have sold those boxes and, you know, made my money back or made a bunch of money, right? It's just not a, and again, you see the scalping and there's people online who see that stuff. They're seeing it on social media and it's like, it just leaves a bad taste in their mouth. So I think they're coming with the reprint hammer on this. They're going to beat it into the ground. And it's going to, and again, I would not have guessed us getting to $100 this quick. I wouldn't. And I think it's maybe, yeah, I think they're hitting it hard with the reprints on this, and it's going to blow it out pricing. I would never have thought it, but again, the cards are great. You can't say like this is. I gotta tell you, if you could pull a really good SAR, and these were $50 a pop, it would be a completely different situation. Completely different. There's great cards in here. You can't tell me there's not great cards. It's just these are, and even from a single standpoint, it's what do I have on here for a filter? Even from a single standpoint, we're not seeing the same kind of volume that we would typically see on a set. Like some of these cards just, they're not moving at these prices. They're starting to move more. But like I look at the Pikachu from Surging Sparks sold as many as this Vaporeon, this beautiful Vaporeon here. So for a set that's 4 months old now, Surging Sparks, a $500 card, so $200 more than this, is selling as many copies today. Why is that? This is a beautiful card. I don't think it's not worth $300. It's a beautiful card. I would love to have one of those in my collection. So is it the card? Is it the price of the card? Or are people waiting? Are people saying, I know I got reprints coming. Why would I spend this on a card? If we're at $100 right now and we get a boatload of reprints, that's absolutely going to inject more of these into the market and drop that price. The total sell-through on this card, the total available cards for this card on TCG Player is 41 plus 16. 57 of these. That's it. That's incredibly tough. And part of that's just people aren't opening it, right? It's an expensive product. There's less people opening it. If this were $75, there'd be way more people opening it. Way more people opening it. So this is not selling well. And I'm surprised that people are not fighting on price to start moving these cards, because your cost of goods for this card was expensive. Real expensive. Because even if you opened 3 ETBs at $100 a pop, you technically, from a pull rate standpoint, you shouldn't have even hit any SIR, never mind this. Because it takes about 40 packs on average, right? Crazy. And we're just not seeing a ton of movement. We see more movement on a $1,600 card. This is a really nice card, to be honest. That is a really beautiful card. This is holding up phenomenally well on price. So again, is it a vote of the cards? I don't think so. These are the same cards that, hyped everyone up during preview season. Same ones. I think it's a vote on the price. So Pikachu EX at the same price has sold. Quantity 2. Sold the same number of cards today on a set that's 4 months old. Some of these are Japanese, and I got less than 2 full pages here of. That's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful card. Meow. I think most people aren't buying an old, super expensive ETB to open. You would be very, very, very surprised. You'd be wrong. There's a lot of people, not wrong, but you know what I mean. There's a lot of people that do that. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of YouTube channels that open old product. There's a lot of people that don't open them. They just buy them to have. I can't tell you how many Magic boxes. I have way too much Magic product from that I bought as an adult because I wanted a piece of my childhood. Nostalgia is, man, that's a tough emotion to navigate as an adult. Very tough. A lot of people have Prismatic, but a lot of people love Prismatic, but 151 is the best set of Scarlet and Violet, hands down. 151 is a great set. Is that the best set of 151 in my mind? It's really good. Let me think here. Do I have anything else? Surging Sparks. I like Surging Sparks as much as 151. I don't know if it beats it, but yeah, most of the old product openings seems like YouTubers. I urge you to get out there, get to conventions. You're gonna see. You gotta get offline, and you gotta go in person where some of the stuff, some of these transactions happening. There's a lot of people. There's a non-zero amount of people that are interested in really old product, or even just stuff even a few years ago. I said this in my Crown Zenith video. I'm already nostalgic about Crown Zenith. I bought Crown Zenith at 75. I saw a couple ETBs on TikTok for $75 this week. So I'm paying above what I would typically buy for a set because I want to have a bunch of it. I want to have some to open in the years to come. I don't want to not have Crown Zenith to open. And that was a couple years ago. Because I have a memory of doing it with my children. And I'm telling you, the amount of money people are willing to spend on nostalgia is significant. Because there's happiness associated with it. It's like trying to relive a memory. And it's huge. It's a massive driving force in our economy. Let's see what else. It feels bad to open this now at $100 ETB. Wouldn't feel much worse to open it in the future for $1,000. Can't you say the same for any set going up in value? It's not just an opening thing. Again, it's the nostalgia of having the product too. Of having positive memories with the product. And just wanting a piece of that to own long term, not just to open, but just to display. There's a lot of people out there that do that. So Prismatic's get an interesting future. It's going to be an interesting few months. We have Journey Together coming. Again, mid-tier, mid-set on that. Let's look at Journey Together. I want Justin and Basil. I want to look at it again because I need another view at it. I know I want a Whale Lord. So just to back it up again, interesting few months ahead. We have Journey Together coming up. Its boxes are still selling above MSRP, but we've seen a massive dip from the $300 we first saw when they were on when it was first announced and they were selling on eBay. So we've seen that price regression. What's going to happen there? I think it's going to be a meh set. I don't think anyone's going to be super hyped for it. I think it's going to fall down to MSRP and kind of hold there. It's not going to do Surging Sparks things. We'll put it that way, right? I think we can all agree on that. And then we got Team Rocket behind it. So the market's going to be waiting. When Journey Together comes out, we should start seeing previews for Team Rocket. The market's going to be weighted with bated breath and pockets full of money, especially after tax returns. We got that coming up. The market's going to be waiting to deploy money on that. And so that's going to be a big point in the market, either good or bad, for what's going to happen in the 6 months to come. So, all right, Journey Together. I think this. Let's see, Whale Lord. I think it's a beautiful card. I think that's cute as heck. Got to get one of those. I don't know the names on every single one of these. Let's see here. Mewtwo. I think it looks great. There's stuff to like. It's a fine set. It's fine. To me, this is like I don't know, a notch above, or maybe a notch above Stellar Crown. Maybe. There's some good stuff in here. This is I know there's cards in here that are good to a lot of other people that I'm not. Like this Clefairy. I know there's to me it's but I know that appeals to a lot of other people. I know that. But yeah, there's some good stuff here. It's solid. I think MSRP. This promo ends Reshiram here is going to be definitely going to be something you could sell for getting booster boxes. So does anyone know if the box topper is inside the booster box or just comes with it? I mean, I've never cracked a box topper set before. This I can't remember the name of the card. This is Zorua. This promo is in the Pokemon Center and the regular ETB. That's gonna be a expensive Pokemon Center stamp promo. I can see that one doing well. So I snagged 2 of those. So those are gonna be good holds. So Pokemon Center, what are you currently buying in this market? Great question. I'm actually gonna do a video about that this weekend, but let's see. I bought a little bit of Crown Zenith. I bought a couple more Obsidian Flames ETBs. Does anyone here know what's happening with Obsidian Flames ETBs? Again, just wild times. I could not believe it. I was not paying attention. These are up to $75 a pop, and there's 50 available on TCG Player. Like, holy smokes, for Obsidian Flames. Like, I think it's a fine set. It's a good set. But these aren't even that old. $75, just a beautiful promo. You get that Charmander promo. Those are going to get expensive. Those are definitely going to get expensive. The market loves those. This is only 50. This is an Elite Trainer box. This is the regular one. And it's $75. So I purchased, I snagged a couple of these at 50. Which I thought was reasonable compared to where it's at. I just wanted more. I didn't have any regular ETBs. I have one coveted Pokemon Center ETB. I wanted to have a couple of regular ones given the price here before they really got out of hand. Look at that volume. Look at that sell volume. On a set that's this old. That was hated. These were like $30 a pop 6 months ago. Seriously, like you couldn't give them away. And now the booster box is up, and this is an ETB. It's the promo. These promos, that's a beautiful promo. It's not even a stamped one. Low roller scratcher. Is that how you say it? Yeah, low roller scratcher. Scalpers, no different from people selling concert tickets, sports events, Super Bowl tickets. Yes, exactly. That's a great way to describe it. Young Tuner, I thought the JT promo would be inside the booster box shrink wrap, but I'm not sure. I would think so. That's how Magic does it. I would think so. I think you're right. That promo is the equivalent to the Shrouded Fable Greninja, the best card in the set. Yeah, I think you're right. It's there again. There's stuff in there to like. It's just not. Let's put it this way. It didn't. When I'm looking through the previews now that we have everything together because it's all in Battle Partners, which is released. There was nothing blowing me away that told me like, hey, I got to back the truck up and buy as much of this as possible. Especially knowing we have Team Rocket coming. Now, I'm not the only one in the market that's making that determination. There's thousands of people that are making that determination and saying, I got a potential Prismatic reprint coming up, a significant one that could be a great buying opportunity, and I got Team Rocket coming up. Those are the 2 sets I'm going to be focused on. So I think Journey Together is going to be a little flat. Again, I think it'll be MSRP, kind of hold out there, but low roller coaster scratcher. No, I don't own sports cards. I used to, when I was a kid, I had a lot of sports cards. I still have some, back from like the 90s, early 2000s, back in like the Ken Griffey Jr. days. And it was one of the things I did with my parents. We would go, when things were good financially as a kid, they'd bring us to, there's an awesome place, a few miles from us in my town where I grew up. We'd pick up a few packs of cards, maybe a couple, singles that we liked on, whoever was great at the time. And collect. And we had a bunch. It was our thing that we did. And we collect them, we sleeved them and everything, put them in binders. And I still have a lot of them. They're worth nothing. Nothing. Like all the cards that we spent hundreds on as kids and thought, like, this guy, this stuff's going to be worth millions when we, 20 years down the line. It's worth nothing. Signed cards, Ken Griffey Jr. cards, nothing. It just doesn't. When those players, unless they go down in history, unless there's massive history that surpasses the passage of time associated with those players, they just come out of existence. They just come out of favor. So yeah, I wish I had a Tom Brady rookie card. 151 is going to be crazy when print ends. Yeah. Yes, it's gonna be nuts. There's nostalgia with that now. There's nostalgia opening that. There's people who are nostalgic just for opening 151, and the reason they bought it is because they had nostalgia about the original 151. But I gotta tell you, Pokemon Company did fantastic with this set and their approach to it. 151 Ultra Premium collections. These were below $100 not long ago. Not that long ago. And this just goes to show you, vote on, look at this, $100, less than a year ago. Look at that ride. That is unbelievable. Blows anything else away. The stock market, anything. The only pain in the butt part is storing it. But they've done a phenomenal job. Man, I hope they keep doing this. I hope they keep approaching everything like this. They have not touched the ETBs. I've seen a handful of them become available on like a Walmart and Target. I'm talking a handful. Not enough to call it I've seen more Sword and Shield, Lost Origin, Brilliant Stars, all those ETBs come to Target frequently compared to 151. They haven't touched it from a reprint standpoint. And if it was a reprint, it was tiny. But they've absolutely printed the bejesus out of the bundles. Almost 14,000 of these have sold. Okay? Almost 14,000. 38 a day. Just this month, still. Look at the volumes of this. January 30th, today, 94 of these have sold today. At $62 a box. 63. They keep printing them, and they leave the ETB alone. They say, okay, we're just going to influx product into the market, packs into the market, right? And the bundle the ETB becomes its own collectible on its own. And they've done this. They seem to be doing this. They don't always do it with booster box sets. Like Paldea and Obsidian, they did booster box. It was tiny. This is the way to do reprints. They're not going to do that for Prismatic. They can't. They did it with Crown Zenith. At first, they did the reprints. They did the ETBs. They did the ETBs for a while, but then it was like, hey, we're doing collections. We did Sea and Sky. Even 151, we got Blooming Waters, right? They're still not touching the ETBs. And it makes sense. It makes perfect sense to me. And I at this point can probably feel comfortable saying they're doing it that way on purpose. It's not like they're just constrained on printing or anything. They could print these if they wanted to, and they could sell. I mean, you could print a boatload of these. A boatload of 151 ETBs. The market would gobble them up. But they don't. And it's remember, the Pokemon Company has a very difficult job of trying to ride the line of a collectible where you have to get it in people's hands, like Prismatic. If you don't get it in people's hands, what happens? It's not collectible. It's not appreciated. It's not beloved. 151 on its release anyone was able to get it for below $50 a pop. It had nostalgia with it anyway because it's 151, but it's a perfect way to approach it. Hopefully they continue that way with everything else. I've talked about this before, but they're not going to have enough print bandwidth to do everything that we want them to do. Even like I think there's some stuff that needs reprints, or else it's going to be in the same boat like Paldean, where it's not in enough people's hands for how young it is. And I think like the methodology that they've done in the past, where like if it's within 2 years of release date, it's at risk for reprints or needs a reprint. If the market price is high, I think that's the way to go. It means it's in people's hands for enough period of time, and then it sunsets, and then it starts to accumulate in price slowly over time. That's what we want. This Prismatic situation is not what we want. I'm telling you, long term, it's bad for the set. It's bad for investors. It's bad for everyone except scalpers. Bellator, Pokemon is too illiquid. Still, Chris. Are you talking about, Chris? Feel like, okay. Maybe PSA 10 for liquid worth. These discounts. It's hard. Real recession, not COVID recession. Pokemon is not illiquid right now. It is a seller's market except for Prismatic. It's the most liquid it's ever been in my time. In my time, I've been in since, I don't know how long I've been in and out of it for a long period of time, but since COVID, I've been in, and this is the most liquid it's ever been. There's almost any box you want to put up outside of Prismatic will sell at the market price on TCG Player, the market price, within 48 hours. Chris, serious question. Do you think it makes sense to keep a significant portion of your investment portfolio in Pokemon TCG as a safeguard for stock market crashes like this past week? No, I think you should be focused on traditional investing. This should be hobby money. This should be like 10% of your portfolio tops. My opinion. It's not investing advice. I'm just a guy on the internet with a microphone. I think you should have diversified asset classes. This is an asset class. But I think having most of your portfolio, no, and because it's too risky. It's too risky from a physical standpoint. You have to store this product. There's a lot of risk in storing a product. We had one of my son's friends this week. His house burned down. Luckily, everyone's okay. That kind of stuff happens. It's a non-zero chance of that happening. There is almost a 0% chance, not a 0% chance. There's a much less of a chance of my stock portfolio getting wiped out by some freak event. Okay. So I think you should diversify. I think you should have a little gold, have a little silver, have some Pokemon cards, have a few collectibles, but most of your stuff needs to be, you must be doing the traditional stuff. You need a Roth 401k, especially if you get an employer match. You got to take advantage of free money. You should have some stocks. Try to stay away from individual companies. Try to go with ETFs and mutual funds, and then you go into Pokemon. That's just my opinion. You do you, but I would not put most of my portfolio in Pokemon cards. My question was assuming you're doing all the regular stuff like maxing out retirement accounts. Yeah, I mean just look at his percentage. Like but here's the thing, now's not the time. Like, now is not when you're going to make most of your wealth. If you're liquidating, if you've been on this train for a while, if you bought, again, I'm going to say it again, if you bought Fusion Strike at $80 a box a few years ago, yes, now's the time to liquidate. This is where you're going to lock in your gains. But from a buying standpoint, buying Surging Sparks at $250, I have less of an upside potential in the future, right? Still want to have some exposure to it, but I wouldn't be dumping. This is the time to deploy capital was 6 months ago in Scarlet and Violet, which I was doing. I've been through this long enough. I know, okay, $100 booster boxes. Yes, I'm going to back the truck up. If I like it, I'm backing the truck up and I'm buying it because I've seen this before. I've been down the road with solid stocks like Meta when Meta was obliterated, and I just backed the truck up. This is a solid American company. I'm backing the truck up. This is the time to lock in your gains and be greedy, or be fearful, I should say, of the market being so elevated. But if you're buying, your risk is higher. You have to know this. If you're buying boxes that are elevated in price right now, you have to be okay with a downturn because it's going to come eventually. It is only a matter of time before we get obliterated again. And that is the signal to you at that point. That's when you deploy the capital. That's when you buy and you put yourself on what is likely a long-term track to make money. It takes a long time. But that decision, which is counter to everything it's counter to human nature to buy stuff when it's cheap because no one else wants it. Why am I going to buy stuff that no one else wants? I want to buy stuff that people want, right? It's just counter to everything it takes the wisdom of experience to have lived through it to say, oh, I've seen this before. I know how this ends. Young Tuna, looking in gains is tempting, but so is continuing to hold. Yeah, you got to look at, this is why it's important to have multiples. And I try to as much as I can. Again, I'm not deploying millions of dollars. I'm no Rudy or anything like that. I get tops a case a set of booster boxes. I think this is why it's having multiples is important. You can sell the cover, like if you get a bunch of Fusion Strike right now, yeah, sell them. Sell a bunch of them until you have 1 or 2 boxes left and you have something to ride. You have some exposure to that set to take advantage of future growth. Because there's two kinds of regret I have, right? I don't ever want to be not in a set. Like, I don't have Evolving Skies booster boxes. I have ETBs, thank God. No booster boxes. Man, that feels bad. That feels bad because I had every opportunity and I wasn't in the know. And the second one is not having enough capital when things are cheap to be able to buy oodles and oodles and oodles of the stuff. That's when you back the truck up. Those are the 2 regrets. So if you have enough of the product, you'd be crazy not to do any liquidation right now. If you've hit the plan, if you've accumulated whatever percentage you want to do, timing, or you're just saying, hey, you know what? I want to have some capital for future, buying opportunities. Now's the time. But don't, if you can, avoid getting rid of everything from a set. Have some exposure. Low roller scratchers. Soon later, people have to sell their older booster boxes for ETB since people will run out of space in their house. I don't know what's going to happen in 30 years from now. Yeah, we have no idea, right? I mean, this is past performance does not equal future results, does not guarantee future results. We have no idea what's going to happen in the future. Pokemon could go to 0. Totally possible. Highly unlikely, but totally possible. And there's always things that are outside of the industry that we can't control. Economy, world events. The world is going to be a very different place in a short period of time. The rate of change of what happens in the world, we saw this with COVID, we're seeing it now, the world is going to be very different very quickly. Maximum 10 years before we're talking about a massive, massive shift worldwide, as little as 5 years. And there could be a lot of good on the other side of that. But it's going to be a wild ride. And it's going to be a lot of upheaval in the short term, potentially. I hope not, but it just kind of feels that way. So, what else we got for questions? Let's give it a little bit longer here. Are you worried people are hoarding Pokemon boxes in 30 years now? They might end up with sports cards, junk wax like 1990. That's always possible. Excuse me. That's always possible. Most people, junk wax era of cards is different though. Like, again, those people become out of favor. Those players are out of favor. And that can happen with Pokemon cards. But again, this is the nostalgia play. This is what I'm talking about. It's nostalgia that gets us to want to buy vintage Pokemon. Not playability or anything like that. It's just nostalgia. I think most people cannot hold on to boxes for a long period of time. They think they can. A lot of people think they can. And I would wager 95% of the people that are watching my channel or watching all the investment channels that want to make money in Pokemon and hold long term, and Rudy says this, you need to hold for a long period of time. What's your time horizon? Most people can't hold still product for 5 years. They can't do it. Either a life event happens and they need to liquidate, or they've just become so disinterested in it, it's taking up space, they have to protect it, and they get rid of it. They dump it. There are very few diamond hands. There's YouTube channels that have started on this subject and then they disappear. Most people cannot do that. That is where the tough part is. The tough part is not saying, I'm gonna spend $150 on a booster box and put it on a shelf. That's not the tough part. The tough part is the market goes left, sideways, up, down. I gotta store it now. I gotta move all this product safely. Like, that's the hard part. The easy part is clicking buy and putting it on a shelf. The tough part is in the gray matter, the jam between your eyes and ears. That's the tough part. Trying to work against that, the emotional side of things, saying, nope, I know the market's going down. I'm not going to sell. I'm going to hold out. I'm going to wait. And the only thing that you can get that from, you can't get that from a book. You can't get it from a YouTube channel. You can't get it from anyone. You have to live through it. But no one wants to do that. No one wants shortcuts. No one wants to wait. They want the shortcut. And there is no shortcut in this, right? The shortcut is, I'm going to go to Walmart and buy Prismatic and then sell it on Facebook Marketplace for a few bucks. That's the shortcut. But eventually that shortcut stops happening. That arbitrage opportunity disappears. Scalpers get left with product. It happens all the time. So if anyone who hates scalpers, just remember, like, scalpers get caught with product when the market shifts all the time. And then they get screwed. So just rest easy knowing that happens. So, low roller, do you investing in some crypto? Yeah, I got some Bitcoin. That's it though. I don't do any of the meme coins or anything like that. I got crypto. Not crypto. I'm sorry, Bitcoin. That's it. I don't touch anything else. I bought Bitcoin, nothing crazy, just enough. Again, I just want a little exposure. It's just like Pokemon. I just want a little bit, just in case it goes up. And this is exactly what happens, right? Bitcoin's, I don't know what it's at right now. I don't watch it all the time. Bitcoin ran up. I'm like, hey, I got a little bit of Bitcoin, right? So that way I don't have that, fear, that the regret of having missed out. Yeah, storage. Low roller. I mean, if you're storing at a storage unit, now you get storage unit costs. It's not on-prem. It's not on premises in your house. So you lose some level of control. You gain some, I guess, in security, but I don't know. Bitcoin's 105. So yeah, I have a little bit. I don't have much. Again, just to say I have some. So it's not a massive part of my portfolio. I just look at, when I was younger, I was all into individual stocks and whatever kind of shortcut there was to investing. And I'd, hey, follow these places on Reddit and these articles and all these penny stocks and everything. None of them pan out. None of them pan out. And I had to learn. It took money and time to realize that the slow, surefire way is to just buy stuff that's worked and hold on to it for a long period of time. It's boring. Like, I do a little bit of individual stock investing, but most of it is index funds, ETFs, S&P 500 index funds. It's like super boring, but it's so stable. It does what it always does. I do a little bit. I do invest in some stuff that I like, that I want to, I know about, and I want to chase after, and I want to push it, but I've gotten burned so much, and it means the vast majority of individual stock owners who try to buy individual stocks lose their shirt. Even people that do this for a living, professional investors, most of them cannot pick better stocks than if they had just invested in the S&P 500. You are still better off in any 30-year time frame to just invest in the S&P 500 because you're getting exposure to all that stuff anyway. So it's just slow and steady. It wins the race. I don't know how to say. Yeah, low roller, losing money on investments teach you that you're just not a great investor. And again, sometimes it's just the market. It's the way the market goes, and you have to realize that, and you hold on. You hold on. And I learned this in the financial crash of 08. I heard of so many people just saying, "Oh, the market's going down. I'm going to just cash out. Whatever I've lost, I've lost. They've lost entire investment portfolios, even right up against retirement. And they just obliterate, and they said, I'll lock in my losses. I'm done." And it was the biggest buying opportunity in the last 50 years. Same thing happened in COVID. 2020, the market, when it dipped for a few months. A few months. Everything was low. Every great company that existed in the S&P 500 or NASDAQ at the time was low, artificially. And it was such a buying opportunity. And the recovery, instead of it being years, was months. And stuff started going through the roof. It's crazy. It's so counterintuitive to say, well, it's all going to crap, so I'm going to buy. It's just counter to human nature. It's so difficult to do. It really is. And you have to sit on a pile of money and not do anything with it. You have to have money liquid, right? You have to be liquid in order to deploy that capital to make that, to take advantage of that opportunity. It's the same thing with Pokemon. My only regret in the last couple of years is just not having enough more money to buy Scarlet Mud. That's my only regret. Trying to trade stocks, you're competing against PhD wizards and skyscrapers on Wall Street. Good luck. Yeah, and pro tip, most of them don't perform well. Most of those folks do not perform well. They do not beat the S&P 500. They try to, and they fail because they're trying to find an edge, and they get burned. Some do, of course. So, all right, guys, we're going to wrap up the stream. I really appreciate the conversation. One thing I do at the end of the stream, anyone who's still here, hit me up at PokeMarketLab@gmail.com. If you would like a free sticker, no cost to you, hit me up, PokeMarketLab@gmail.com. Send me your address. I'll put a sticker in the mail for you as just a way of saying thanks for hanging out with us on this Thursday night stream. Tomorrow's Friday. Have a great rest of the week. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Hopefully you're enjoying some Pokemon this weekend. And make sure you tune in for the next video, which is going to drop tomorrow. It's going to be what I bought in January. So again, thanks for all the support. Hit me up at PokeMarketLab@gmail.com if you would like a sticker. And we're going to see you next time.